maybe even touch there going into 3. Oh, Briscoe gets loose. Austin Wayne Self around. Heavy contact with the 99 of Peters, up and over. To this at the finish. There's the replay of the accident that brought out the final caution in the wild ride endured by Timothy Peters.
It looked like the 22 of Austin Wayne Self just got a little bit loose on exit of turn number 4. Got into Johnny Sauter. Watch him get loose on the bottom. Gets into Johnny a little bit. Turns him sideways. Ben Rhodes able to get by. Timothy commits to the bottom. Austin Wayne comes down there. Wild ride for Timothy.
And right away, the 1 of Elliott Sadler jumped into that outside line. After William Byron had the lead, Elliott Sadler decided, I'm going to go for this win as well, as they come to the overtime line. Owen wrecking behind them. The field, did they get to the overtime line before the caution came out? That will be the question.
Don't let them get to you.
William Byron was out front. The question is, did they get across the overtime line before the caution came out?
And you have to throw the caution. I mean, there's a huge wreck on the back straightaway. You can't send these cars back around through that wreck under green. So throwing the caution is a no-brainer here.
Well, we saw with Eric Almirola with his injury at Kansas that the assumption of any sort of injury is a mistake. Anytime you have any sort of contact like that, NASCAR has to assume they need to dispatch safety vehicles, not to mention the debris on the racetrack.
With William Byron out front, the wreck happens behind him.
At the front, trying to sort out positions. Meanwhile, it's Brett Moffitt in the lead with Grant Enfinger in second, and Justin Haley slipped into the 3rd spot and around again. Caution, a bigger one this time. Timothy Peters involved. Austin Hill in the 02, Jesse Little the 97. Well, that's a shame. Little was having a good night. A lot of frustration. Peters around and in. I think maybe got a little help to start with.
Yeah, get some damage with the 3 truck.
Look at Crafton squeezing inside of Rhodes, and there's Peters sideways.
The 78 of Martin Truex Jr. out front. Coming out of turn 4. Once they get the white flag, the next flag will call it the 14 around. Boyer into the wall, the caution comes out just before they get to the start-finish line.
Some big impacts.
Bain caught up, as is Bubba Wallace. Brendan Gaughan also in this.
Let's take a look at the replay, get an idea how this all started. There you see Clint Boyer and Bubba Wallace. Clint's on the inside. Bubba's got a little tire rub there, but he's shoving and he just turns, pushing so hard. And Clint was moving around on the front bumper. And it hooked him into the wall.
McMurray 3 wide.
Wow, he's sideways on the wreck.
No,
Big crash, back straight away.
Crashed.
That'll be it.
Big wreck going into 3. I mean, look at them, they're wrecking everywhere.
I think they made it to the overtime line.
Now NASCAR will have to look at video to determine whether the leader was at the overtime line or not before the caution.
So many good cars that were having great days here, all wadded up in the 3rd turn.
Allmendinger destroyed. Dillon against the turn 3 wall.
Watch Ty Dillon. He gets loose, then a little bit of contact between he and his teammate Ryan Newman.
Hard contact, 77 and a 13 there.
And then it's on.
Yep, and he gets into the one. Is that McMurray down there?
Allmendinger, Bain.
Now they're going 3 wide. Almirola up the middle. Logano pushing Larson in that lower lane. Look at Allgaier getting drop kicked. Oh no, there they go. Spinner into the wall, Almirola. Larson out of shape. So is Chase Elliott. And the caution is out again.
We made it so far, Michael, but we just couldn't keep this up. Oh, and they're still hitting.
This will tell the tale here.
So it looks to me like from this view that Kyle Larson just didn't quite get high enough on Eric Almirola. He was trying to maybe protect the inside a little bit, and the push wasn't quite as square as he needed, again, with the car not at full speed.
You can see Joey Logano into the outside wall. There's Joe Nemechek in the 15 Johnny Davis car.
Casey Kane determining the restart. Once he enters the restart zone, he gets a shove behind him. Green flag back in the air. Caution's going to come out. They're wrecking behind him. Eric Almirola, Ryan Blaney. Look at all the damage to the 15.
Look right here. Look at Casey Keselowski's hand out the window. He's asking for help. Hey, push me. Give me a push. That's what this is all about. And it actually helps Brad Keselowski. He actually gets ahead of Trevor Bayne, I believe. This push from the 6 car is better than the push from the 11. The 11 pushing Kane actually knocked the rear tires off the ground. The push from the 6 pushed the 2 car ahead.
And Michael McDowell in the 95 was pushing the 6 and pushed him right around.
All right, he's going to draw back even here.
It's going to be a big battle into turn 3.
Pulling back all the way back. Stay up tight. Stay up tight. Now down off. Hook that line. Nice and easy. Don't overdrive it.
Reddick not letting him get away.
Oh, whoa!
Bell up top. And there goes Reddick spinning out. Kyle Busch coming back to the white flag. Caution is out. We will have a second overtime. Huge damage for Zane Smith at Austin Cindric. It's our 7th caution of the day.
Older tires. Kyle Busch is going to get right on the outside of Tyler Reddick against what we already said coming into this whole race. Turns 3 and 4 in the wind, and it's just going to pull.
Just got loose.
Yeah, it's just going to pull him right around. It's going to collect Christopher Bell and a whole list of others. And we talked about this in the pre-race. You knew this was going to happen in this race. Kevin, turns 3 and 4, very difficult. Windy conditions, old tires, side drafting. It's just a matter of time.
Kyle Busch up the racetrack. He moves the 11 up. Here comes the 78 of Truex Jr. into the final turns. Martin Truex Jr. has never won on a short track. As he comes out of 4, it's a drag race. They wreck behind him. Kyle Busch will win.
Yes, sir. Checkered.
Big wreck on the front stretch.
And this right here, I thought it was the 78's to take right here. He drives deep in the corner, but the 18 gives him plenty of room. Wants to make sure there's no contact, leaves him almost a lane and a half. Runs the outside of the racetrack, carries that momentum to the line, and basically the rest of the field wrecks behind it. It starts right here with Blaney and the 11 getting together. A hard hit by the 41 in the distance.
Kevin Harvick going around.
One more time around when they get the white flag. Kyle Larson out in front at Richmond. And up into the wall goes the 78 hard. Caution will come out. Kyle Larson will be the winner.
You see Denny Hamlin underneath Martin Truex Jr. Well, the 78 started coming down. I think he thought the 11 was going to start turning. Just racing for position. As soon as they make contact, you can see the 11 start to. He brakes really hard. See how much brake he's got in the car. He was trying to avoid the incident. You know, some wrecks, it's just racing for position. I don't know that somebody did anything really wrong, or certainly not on purpose, but.
Sauter jumps to the outside, hoping that he gets some help. They're coming through the tri-oval to the white flag. Kligerman by a nose over Enfinger as they cross the line in the final lap, and contact. And a big crash.
And John Hunter Nemechek sneaks through.
Behind you, big wreck.
And the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek escapes, and it's going to be Parker Kligerman.
Huge push by the 18 of Kyle Busch on to Denny Hamlin. That's what hurt the 9 of Chase Elliott.
Here they come.
Oh!
And behind him, hard into the wall.
Logano, there's Logano.
The caution, Logano is wrecked. Did the caution come out before he got the white flag?
Incredible job by Joey Logano not to drive up the racetrack and get in the wall to get that car corrected.
Well, really, it starts with Brad Keselowski. He has to go 3 wide, 4 wide, and they just run out of real estate. Contact with the 41 up the track, catches Hemrick. Logano down there on the bottom of the racetrack as he went out of view, got caught and went through the grass. This will be a great look at the 22 right here at the top of your screen, that bright yellow car. He's going to come into screen and gets pushed down to the grass.
Stay in like that. Stay in like that. The one bounce you out. Now watch him.
How did Elliott Sadler get back on the road and not lose any ground? He's going to have a chance to win this race.
If he pulls high.
Joey Logano gets turned. Elliott Sadler drives through. They're crashing big time at the line. Brennan Poole, first career win at Talladega.
How about that for Brennan Poole? And a big hit from Blake.
Huge crash. Joey Logano with damage. The same for Blake Cook.
Chaos coming to the start-finish line.
Watch this move Elliott Sadler makes. He does everything perfectly. He goes high, he fakes high. That's where Logano goes. He loses control of his car.
Yeah, you cannot blame that on Elliott Sadler. No doubt. He went to go high, the 22 blocked, so he changed it, and he says, all right, I'm going to go low. And it just pulled the air off the 22 right there. The 22 wrecked.
Third first-time winner we've had in the history of Talladega Superspeedway in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
What a great job by Elliott Sadler. Crashed on the back straightaway, but yet vying for the win on the front. Just gets pushed low and can't keep his momentum up to win the race.